This is all, of course, under the prism of Dak's contract situation there in Dallas. What do we know? What's the latest?
Well, Hannah, I talked to somebody directly with the team who said that the notion that the Cowboys don't want to re-sign Dak Prescott after this year is false. They are going to try. Now, can they find common ground on the contract when Prescott has unprecedented leverage here? The $60+ million cap hit this year, dead money on the contract next year. It's going to be hard for them to do, but I do expect them to try. They still see Prescott as their long-term answer. They have Trey Lance as a developmental quarterback right now, but all offseason signals are that they're going to try to re-sign their big three at some point. Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons.
Now, what did I tell y'all? We were going to be seeing a bunch of crazy narratives being thrown around the offseason concerning Dak Prescott, and I've been preaching to y'all and preaching to y'all. I had to take a couple days break, bro, because some of y'all are so set on wanting to live in a space of negativity that it is an impossible feat in order to talk common sense and logic, sound logic to you guys. You heard Jeremy Fowler right there. One of the more reputable reporters, just like a lot of you guys put a lot of stake into the things that Ian Rappaport reports, even though there's been several times over the last year in which his reports have been refuted. Jeremy Fowler specifically has come out and echoed the same sentiments that a lot of the Dallas local media has been echoing, and that's the fact that the Joneses are 100% intending on signing Dak Prescott. And not only that, but it will almost be impossible for them not to bring Dak Prescott back, thanks to how his contract situation is set up, thanks to how the dead cap would hit the salary cap, thanks to how big his cap number would actually count against the Dallas Cowboys. That would hamstring the organization, not just for this year, that would hamstring them going into the next season when we got to start signing guys like Tyler Smith and some of these other guys. That would completely hamstring the organization. And a lot of you guys don't realize Dak Prescott would just be the first domino to fall, because Dak not coming back would lead to a ripple effect of things that's going to happen just based off the salary cap. We're not even getting into the human aspect of, do these players actually want to come back and play for a team without a quarterback? Just from a salary cap standpoint, Dak leaving would cause a massive ripple effect, because now you have a quarterback that's taking $60-80 million on your cap, or hitting your cap for a huge amount.
And I can confidently say that because I'm actually looking at spotrack.com and looking at all the contracts that are expiring soon and looking who's going to be due for a contract soon. And yeah, taking a $66 million dead cap hit is not going to help the Cowboys re-sign anybody next offseason.
And you still have to pay another quarterback to come play quarterback for you. And you still have other guys that are going to be due for renewed deals. So you see what I'm saying? It's a huge ripple effect. And much like I've been thinking this whole time, and I'm going to maintain myself on this road, much like I've been thinking this whole time, the Cowboys are planning on re-signing Dak Prescott. And I'm going to say this right now. It's getting to a point, and the noise is getting so loud, that even some of the Dallas Cowboys players, some of the players now, are starting to speak up, including one of our most highly touted rookies from last year that we expect big things from this year. You can see Demarvion Overshown was compelled to give his thoughts on this entire narrative surrounding Dak Prescott. And this right here just goes to show my exact point I was making, that Dak leaving, that could have possibly affect not just the salary cap standpoint, but on a human level, how a lot of some of our best players may feel about trying to re-sign with Dallas, especially when their deal is up in the next year or two, right? Demarvion Overshown just tweeted out, like right before I was about to sit down and record this video, I'm glad he did this. He just tweeted out, Dak Prescott is the guy we want leading us into battle on game day. Stop with all the fake narratives. I know exactly which fake narratives they're talking about. He's referring to the talk about, oh, the Cowboys are preparing for Dak not to come back. He's referring to the talk that, oh, some of the players on the team don't believe in Dak Prescott. He's referring to the narrative of, oh, the Dallas Cowboys may try to get Shadur Sanders and bring him into the team next season. I have a whole video laid out for the Shadur Sanders thing. Y'all be sure to subscribe because I am going to be dropping that video. If not today, it's definitely going to be dropping tomorrow. If you're watching this video at a later time, just go ahead and check my channel and it's more than likely going to be up there. Demarvion Overshown, one of the current active players, one of the guys in that locker room right now, just said himself they want 4 leading them into battle on game days. This right here was the exact endorsement that we needed to see from a player. It's been a minute since we've seen one of the players actually on the team, especially since the season has ended. It's been a minute since we actually seen any of the players come to Dak's defense or just give any kind of statements or anything referring to Dak Prescott and his situation and the dialogue going on around him. I feel like a lot of the older players, they either don't use social media at all or they understand this is how the Cowboys offseason is. This is what the talk around the Cowboys is like. But Demarvion Overshown coming out and making it very clear how his locker room feels about that quarterback is just icing on the cake to me, right? Because the question I guess I have to ask is if the players in the locker room have not lost faith, if the players in the locker room still want a guy leading them, and that guy that they want leading them is still producing at a top 3 level in the entire NFL, then why on God's green earth would you remove said player from that locker room when you know he has the attention of all the guys in there, he has the respect of all the guys in there, and he can produce at the highest level for that particular position? Why would you displace that guy and mess up the window that is still wide open for the Dallas Cowboys? Because no matter how bad this offseason has gotten, some of you guys have lost all context. Have the Eagles really gotten all that much better when they lost guys like a Jason Kelce, a Hassan Reddick, a Fletcher Cox, and replaced those big name losses with these big name additions, Saquon Barkley, Bryce Huff, and Devin White? Have they really gotten much better? No, and they've actually lost a lot more players than that. In fact, the Eagles don't even have any linebackers right now. The Giants, they're the Giants. They got way more issues to fix than just getting Brian Burns on their team. And the Commanders don't have a quarterback, and it's possible they take one of the worst quarterbacks in the draft in this upcoming draft. And besides that, Dan Quinn, we've never seen what you look like as a head coach without an MVP level quarterback leading your team. Matt Ryan was a great quarterback before Dan Quinn even got to Atlanta. Can Dan Quinn actually develop a quarterback? Can he lead a rookie quarterback into the playoffs? Can he lead a team led by a rookie quarterback? Don't know. We haven't seen that yet. As long as we have 4 at the helm, as long as we have Micah Parsons, as long as we have a Trayvon Diggs and a Deron Bland, as long as we have a CeeDee Lamb, as long as we have a Jake Ferguson, as long as we have a Zach Martin and a Tyler Smith, and Terrence Steele is going to be so much better this season because he's a full year removed from that injury now. He should have ample time to fully recover, and he's back in the gym already. As long as we have certain guys, this team is not going to be nearly bad enough for them to be able to find a viable replacement for Dak Prescott in the draft next season in the first round. They're not going to be bad enough. I'm sorry to burst some of y'all bubbles. I'm sorry to burst some of the conspiracy theories that some of your favorite people are talking about. They're not going to be bad enough. This team has never been under 500 since Dak Prescott has been here. And to get a top 5 pick, you have to be well under 500. And even in his worst season in 2017, I believe they finished the season 9-7 or something like that. And that was literally the worst start to the season the Cowboys have had with Dak Prescott. So no, this roster to me is much better than the 2017 roster. He has better weapons than the 2017 roster. Yes, we have some holes, but we have some holes every single year. And I don't think this team and the holes that are present are going to be big enough to sink the success of the team this season. I think that we're going to see a lot of what we seen last season. Your quarterback playing at a level that's elevating your team to make them look like they're a lot better than what they actually are. And then we may end up getting exposed, especially since the Joneses have done nothing but allowed the team to actually get a little bit worse this offseason. And it's almost April now, and they haven't really made any free agency signings outside of Eric Kendricks from outside the building. So, yeah. It really refreshing to see players come out and speak on this. Glad Jeremy Fowler came out and cleared up a lot of the BS and hogwash that we're hearing, because common sense tells you, business tells you they can't move on from Dak right now. I guess my question would be, what would be the rush for them to move on from Dak. If you guys feel like the window is closed and they can't win any more Super Bowls, why would they be in such a rush to move on from Dak that they would do something that would hamstring their cap for the next several years? Not just this year or next year. It would hamstring their cap for the next several years. His voidable years have gone out like 4 years beyond his contract or something like that. So it would hamstring them for a while, right? Why would they be in a rush to move him? Why? If the window isn't open anymore, what sense? Y'all see, a lot of people are thinking from a fan standpoint and applying that thinking to the front office. What sense would it make to be in a rush to move on from Dak? What do they gain from rushing? What do they gain from rushing? You cannot sit here and tell me that you believe a rookie quarterback is going to come into the NFL and play at or above the level that Dak Prescott has played and somehow lead this team further into the playoffs. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous line of thinking, and you're out of your mind if you think the Cowboys are going to strike lightning twice, because Dak Prescott, if you forgot, came in 2016, had one of the best rookie seasons in NFL history. And it wasn't supplanted until C.J. Stroud just came in and did what he did last season. But those are far and few between. Far and few between, right? So again, y'all be very careful with news, with outlets you digest. And just let the offseason do the offseason, bro. Y'all already know how it's going to get. Keep tuning into your reliable sources so that way you can stay properly informed on all things Dallas Cowboys. We stay them same old boys. I'll see you on the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.